Welcome to the instructional video for involving students in decision making. Now this is staple number 1 in the mutual space. Now when students are involved in decision making, an increase in collaboration and ownership of learning occurs. Additionally, students feel heard and valued and know that their input matters. So 3 tips to incorporate involving students in decision making in the classroom include the first one, which is to set expectations. Now, it's important to set expectations at the beginning of the year with students. Now, traditionally, teachers have come into class and they have given students different rules and say, hey, you got to follow these. But that doesn't really give execution and ownership of students over time. So setting them with students will get them more involved in the process and they'll have more accountability when it comes to following them. The second step is to clearly communicate what are non-negotiables and what are things that, again, can be collaborated on. So, for example, in a science class, often there are non-negotiables for safety. So, those still need to be discussed, but make sure the students know what are non-negotiables and what are ones that you can collaborate on. And lastly, you want to make sure that everyone participates, especially when it comes to setting expectations, ensuring that all students are heard and valued. In that participation or that process will ensure that everyone tries their best to do it and complete it. You want to make sure also that when you're making decisions outside of those expectations, that again, when everyone can be involved, the process will run smoother, and again, you'll get more ownership. Now, how can we connect relevance, empathy, action, and lifelong learning to involving students in decision making? Well, again, when it's relevant connecting, you're making sure that the students are going to be engaged and take ownership in the process, which then will filter into other decisions in the classroom. Now, the empathy connection, again, allows when students feel valued and heard. And again, you're going to increase participation and engagement, not only with the process, but with other tasks that you have throughout the school year. Finally, taking action. When students see that their input is actually being taken seriously, again, they're going to be more apt to want to participate. So at the beginning of the year, maybe you only have 50% of your students that are really engaged. But the more that they feel that you're taking action and listening to what they're saying and incorporating things that they would like to see, then they're going to increase the participation again over time. And finally, how do we incorporate a lifelong learning connection? Well, listen, these skills are essential. Being able to work together and make decisions, again, not only just in a silo or individually, but collaboratively. So those will again transfer throughout their lifetime. Now, like I've said before, some of our staples actually have a script that you can follow in an activity that will help guide the process along. So this is a great way to be able to do that. Let me put this here a little bit closer for you. So I want you to also make sure that you see that on the bottom here, there is a positive example. Let me make that up here. Ooh, let's bring it up. There's a positive example here with the expectations. And at the end, as you can see, I know it's small, but you can see that all students signed the expectation poster. Now, this is an important part, right? So not only at the beginning of the year that are you setting expectations and you're saying these are all things that we agree on, but you're having students to sign it, including yourself, and that's going to increase the ownership and accountability, because now everybody wants to be able to make sure that they are successful in that classroom. Now, the second worksheet to this also includes something that you can lay down. I would actually blow this up, but you can also put this particular worksheet here in individual groups of 3 to 5. And so what I would normally do is take all of the different brainstorming ideas about what do we feel like we want to have as classroom expectations and dwindle them down to about 3 to 5. Now, some people have 8, and that's fine, but I wouldn't go over 8, again, because you don't want this long list of expectations that, again, everyone can't monitor, self-monitor, and be able to follow. So it's important that we're working together and making sure that we have at least 3 to 5 expectations that you can complete. This is the end of involving students in decision making.